don't know if you guys are hearing that music, but it's awesome. Welcome to Las Vegas. I'm K5DA. This is Las Vegas DX Foundation. With us tonight.
My name's Robert. I'm in 7RSL.
Or we call him Antenna God, or Tower God, actually, is what we call him. If you guys watched the podcast last week, you'll notice that Mr. RSL, or a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, we did a tour of his house, and he has. Is that music still going? Okay, yeah, great. He's the guy with had all the towers at his place. So we're really glad to have him on the show tonight as a co-host, and that's what's going on. So we got a few things to talk about tonight. Tonight we want you guys to call in, please, if you can. The phone number on that is going to be the phone number I have in front of me. If you're calling internationally, it's going to be 01, of course, 855-502-4321. If you're local, 702-329-64. What's the last four digits of that, guy?
6947.
6947. Do I need glasses? Maybe. Anyway, it's sure is a pleasure having you guys with us tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about a few things amongst us, ourselves, and whoever calls in tonight. And I'm thinking that I should make an announcement right here. It's something really important that just came up. As of 15 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago, we we did some antenna work here right before the broadcast started, and we put up our. We have a repeater here now. It's a club repeater. It's the Las Vegas DX Foundation repeater. You're welcome to come on the repeater. It's a DMR repeater, okay? And we'll explain that in a few minutes. The transmit frequency on that is 446.950. So it's 70 centimeters, 446.950. And it's, of course, a -5 at that frequency. And the DMR code, if you will, a digital code, I suppose, is CC1. Is that... sorry again? Color code. One, you can see I'm not that, I'm an old ham, so I've been around for a long time. DMR is not my thing, but we got somebody here tonight that's an absolute expert on that. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Anyway, things are going good here in Las Vegas. We got some things going on that are important to our club and to progress, if you will, in amateur radio and these podcasts. We're looking for sponsors, people who are entities or companies who are interested in maybe having a little bit of time on the air to promote their products, and that's something that would help us out. Of course, we want to sell some sponsorships is what we want to do, and keep this thing going. Everybody's got to get paid, and not me. I'm a volunteer. Oh, yeah, nice.
Same here.
Well, look at that, would you? And
That's you up there just now.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I see that. That's what we just did a few minutes ago, I guess. And so awesome, man. I didn't realize you guys
What
taking
happened to that
photographs.
6-meter beam?
Well, it might be a little skewed at the moment. You ready to go about no more than 90 degrees around to the right, sir, and you'll get your target. But we'll get back up there and do a more permanent installation. But the big thing is that we got the repeater up, and that's what we really wanted to do. It was one of our goals, and we got it finished tonight. So one more thing we check off our list here with our club and what we're doing and moving forward with. And once again, on the sponsorship, clean it up real fast, is we want you to come and be a sponsor with us, and we'll even get you out here on the air, or we'll do a commercial, come to your place, do a remote. Of course, it needs to be our demographic. It needs to be people who are interested in amateur radio, shortwave listening, even CBers. I don't care who it is. Something that fits radio, and we'll figure it out, and get you guys on here, and get your product on here, and for a few seconds. This is not going to become a gigantic 1-hour infomercial, folks. Just don't worry about that. It's going to be about amateur radio, no matter what. But some stuff's going to be really important. Let's jump into it. You want to just, Robert, if you don't mind, you want to talk about who you are, what you do, real fast, and kind of rebrief everybody what's going on.
Okay. Bring the microphone. Okay. Yeah, I just don't want to pop in there. Okay. My name's Robert. Yeah, I've been in electronics my whole life. What? You can get closer. I don't want to get closer.
Bring it closer to you.
Okay.
You can turn your volume down if you need to a little bit on your audio.
I just don't want to blast the bass anyway. So, okay, anyway. So,
He's such a nice guy,
I've been doing electronics since I was 8 years old. My father was an electronic engineer.
Wow.
And he would always hand me an old tube radio out of a car, and he'd say, "Hey, son, take that apart, and I'll explain what that was." Well, that got my curiosity going. So after that, I got into the hobby. I built my first linear amplifier when I was a freshman in high school.
That is so awesome.
And I had helps of a friend, Richard. he was a brainiac too into ham radio. We loved it. And I got my license when I was my first novice at the time when I was 21. And that was mainly Morse code, you know.
Yep.
And I got up to advanced class, and
Yep.
then I let it all fall away because I had another interest that came along, and it was women.
No way.
Yeah, so you know, I worked various electronic jobs all through Massachusetts, and then I met another woman, and I ended up marrying her, and spent some time in Japan. Working DX from Japan is
Oh,
amazing.
awesome, man.
And then when I came back to the States, I got back into ham radio again. But I
Ah.
lived in a covenanted, restricted, housing area, and they were very, very against putting up antennas. And so, based on that, not having any antennas, I put everything on my car. I don't know if you noticed how many antennas I have in my car.
Very impressive. Yeah.
They could not tell me not to put them on my car, so I did, and neighbors hated it. But anyways, I got tired of that, and we moved up to Mount Charleston. I moved in
Wow.
with the mom-in-law, and then we eventually took the house over, and then I just went crazy with all the towers. I started with one tower, and then the next and the next, and you helped me get a couple of towers, and it's been madness from that point on.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a good story. So you built, did I hear you correctly when you said you built an amplifier in your high school?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
we
God.
used 6146s, 4 of them.
Yeah?
We back then it was, color TVs had a really high voltage transformer you could pull out of them, and filament
That's right, they did, yeah.
transformers and chokes and all kinds of stuff. So Richard and I just started going down to the dump, and
Wow.
people were throwing their TVs out.
Oh my God.
We'd get the screwdrivers and the wire cutters, and we cut all the transformers out. And we found a couple, we found out what voltage doubling was to
Okay.
get the voltage
Right,
up.
right.
And,
Is it twice the windings?
Huh?
Is it twice the windings?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. We made it. We turned it on for the first time, Cliff, and on 7 megacycles, it was an oscillator putting in about
Was it?
500 watts.
Oh my God, that's not good.
Yeah. So then we went back, and then we learned about neutralization.
Right, gotcha.
How to neutralize it, and from that point on, it was just fun.
Okay, use some round resistors, I guess?
Yeah, we had to put the resistor with a wire
Yeah,
around
yeah.
it, and yeah, we just were copying things out of the ARL
Wow, nice.
handbook, you know.
Yeah, my
Which-
Bible, yeah.
Yeah, but that was an adventure. I never built an actual radio.
Okay.
You know,
But you built an amp, okay?
yeah,
That's
I
what I
built
want to
the
do.
amp because we had the radio, so you know.
Well,
worked out
that's
pretty good.
amazing. I mean, you guys went down to salvage parts and out of a dump, and
Yeah.
and there were still viable parts, and you
Yeah.
built something. I've always wanted to build an amplifier myself, and so I've never done that yet.
Yeah.
Yet I say I'm going to definitely do it. Before that's one of my bucket list amateur radio things. You know, I'm going to check that off eventually. Is to build an amplifier.
Yeah,
I mean, the guys. It's amazing the people that build amplifiers and what they can create. I mean, we've got a couple of our members. I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning his name. Well, I'll put his call sign out there. K7MIX.
Yeah.
He's got the fridge, and it's an amazing piece of work as well. He
Right.
developed that over several years. You know.
Yeah.
And to get back on, you're talking about. So what was it like being DX in Japan?
Oh, well, first of all, if you spoke English and you're in Japan, you became a DX, a rare contact. So all I
Right,
had to do
exactly,
was
yeah.
push my finger on the microphone button, and I had every continent, it seemed like, in the world coming back to me. I mean, I was talking down to Turkey. I had friends every night. It'd be up in Finland, Denmark, Norway, France, all those areas. I had a couple in China.
Wow, nice.
Back then, and that was in
That
the
spoke English.
late
Yeah.
80s, and I actually got to talk to a North Korean school teacher who
Did you
was
really?
totally illegal,
It is, yeah.
illegally talking on the
To
radio.
a school teacher.
Yeah, school teacher. So he spoke English very well.
That's pretty amazing. So how did that? I guess it was dangerous for that person to even have radio equipment. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
I mean he didn't talk very long, but when he heard a rare contact,
And he'd go bury the transmitter somewhere. So do you hear stories about North Korea and how it's the only DXCC country? Well, it's not even a DXCC country. It's not
Yeah.
even allowed. So
Yeah.
it's not.
It's not a
People
member
can
of
sneak across the
ITU, yeah.
exactly. People can sneak across the border and put a transmitter and contact it, but it's not legitimate.
I
As
mean,
far
just trying to get across the border is you're putting your
Can you
life
imagine?
in danger. Yeah. much less transmitting a radio signal out of a country like that.
Yeah, I'm just can imagine what would happen to you. Yeah, it'd be bad,
Yeah.
very bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
So your call sign was a JD something? What was your call sign?
No, it was W1 ZKP at the time.
Okay, and
over there.
and then it was / what?
Yeah, well, I was out of Massachusetts, but I just put stroke JA.
That's all you had to do.
Yeah,
What was your call sign? W1
ZKP.
CKP.
It
Awesome.
was hell in Morse code. but-
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, not too bad, but okay, so great. And then you came back to metropolitan hell, if you will, in Vegas, right?
Talk about feeling like a grain of sand on the beach.
Just imagine, man.
So in Japan, it was the number of people and the size of Japan
yeah.
is pretty compact over there. But when you come to the USA, it's just there's all kinds of space everywhere. So you become so insignificant.
Really?
Because there's so many hams in America, and everybody seems to have it. And to other countries, we appear rich.
Right.
Even the middle class or the
Sure.
poor people, they seem rich because they have a home,
Right.
they have a car, you know
Right.
what I mean? And they can afford ham radio.
We have cars because we have to go to work.
Right.
So that's interesting. So when you came back from Japan, you said that you were in a scenario where you couldn't really operate, right?
Right.
And that's so we're back to USA. We have all this land in Japan has very little land, a whole lot of people, right?
Yeah.
We have a whole lot of land and a moderate amount of people. So you'd think that we'd be able to put antennas up everywhere, right? But it's not the
Yeah.
case, is it?
No, it isn't.
Yeah. So the HOA scenario that people have been faced with, and I guess you lived that as well, then, right?
Yes.
That was that's a heck of a way to imagine the federal government in the United States to give us guidelines and rules to regarding antennas, and that then some HOA will say, no, we trump the federal government, and you can't put that piece of wire up.
Right.
You can't put that hex beam up. I think that's well, hex beam, folks, is it's like an upside down umbrella, very 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 small, really, in the world of amateur radio. Rotatable antennas, a very efficient, wonderful antenna, and but those they're restricted. Everything's restricted. Some of the amateurs have to go into hiding and put. I don't want to give away their secrets, but put away antennas that are stealth. We call them stealth antennas, and maybe we'll do a show on stealth antennas.
Like a flagpole antenna.
Exactly. I was going to say that, but I was there. If it is HOA, we'll watch this go. I bet there's some flagpole antennas in our HOA.
When I lived in an HOA, Cliff, I actually tried to put up a 10-meter loop in my attic.
You did what?
Yeah. And
Did they
of
bust you
course-
on that?
Huh?
They busted you?
No, they didn't. But it was a stone roof,
Okay.
and
Wow.
I was horizontal, and the conditions for 10 just died after the 80s and that time.
You sure it wasn't your stone roof?
No, because from the truck, I couldn't hear
sure.
anything either.
Right.
So I knew it was
Wow.
just not the band, but there was no other space to put anything else up.
I was on the air in 10 meters during that opening, by the way, but the early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I became a ham myself in '76, and the bands were similar to what they've been recently. I mean, sparse, anything on 10 meters, and then suddenly 10 meters became my band because I was broke. I was a high school kid, and I went down and bought from Radio Shack, a Yagi, a 3-element Yagi. Radio Shack sold a 3-element Yagi back in those days, believe it or not. And I went and got it, brought it home, put it on a pole, turned it by hand out my window. And but that's how I learned about front to back and front to side ratio, and the antennas were so the gain and things of that nature. Now I became almost an exclusive amateur radio 10-meter ham. What was that?
That was the
Oh.
radio.
This little walkie over
Oh.
here.
Oh, was
got a DMR.
Oh, the DMR. There we go, right here, folks. Anyway, so I love 10 meters, and it's coming back now. And the good thing about 10 meters is, you know how big those antennas are for 20. Does anybody know how big? Well, if you guys saw that video or the photograph of the tower installation we just did, that antenna, that big one, would be for 20 meters. So you can shrink it down half that size for 10 meters. I mean, it's not obnoxious at all, in my personal opinion. Anyway, okay, great. Now, though, Robert, you obviously you've migrated up to another place in Las Vegas, and you're out there on the mountain, and you've got a lot of land out there, right? You
Yeah, I
a
got
couple
2
acres.
acres of land up there.
And there's no restrictions out there of any kind. You can
No.
pretty much do what you want to do, right?
Yeah, I don't have anybody on 3 sides of me.
Isn't
It's
that
really
nice?
nice. Yeah.
And so the sky's the limit, pretty much. Isn't it nice?
is.
I see your place, and I'm like, only if, because Vegas. I live in metropolitan Vegas downtown, and it's really it's a challenge. I mean, I've got to make sure that no matter what happens, my antennas or my tower can't fall on
Right,
on my
right.
neighbors and things of that nature. I go the extra length, the extra time it takes to do all that stuff, and then I'm limited to one tower, things of that nature. But you know, something I'm happy where I'm at. I'm a one tower guy, and I'm happy with what my one tower. I put the best use I can with it. I've got a 4 element, 5-band cubical quad. I get all the
Yeah.
bands I want. And,
Beautiful antenna.
Yep, and so that's my solution. You can put up monobanders, which is like the ultimate of all antennas, and you build them yourself. And you don't only do you build them yourself, you design them yourself, and that's understanding RF and electronics and radio frequency, you know, and how to make that magic work. I mean,
Mhm.
how to propel, if you will, or propagate your signal from your antenna system to another antenna system with just using air or the
Yeah.
earth as a medium.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's always what got me loving ham radio was that, you know.
I like the physical science part of it, the electromechanical side, you know.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
do.
I'm sending electricity up to a piece of aluminum and
Yeah.
it's vibrating,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
and it's causing other elements to vibrate.
That's right. Yeah.
And then 3,000 miles away, their antenna is vibrating because mine's vibrating. That to me is, it's impossible, but it works.
Was that you that told me one time? I think in my driveway that there's like piano keys, right?
Yes.
That was you, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me very well.
The tuning fork and
Right. Yeah. And
I'd
that's
like to mention something.
yes, sir.
You had a hurricane,
Yeah.
and do you think the hams are going to be, are they doing something out in the?
They are. I haven't listened personally. I've been.
Just maybe mention what I was just talking about. They can't
Okay, good. Would you like to get on the microphone?
hear me. No, I'll get one. But
And yeah, so we do a lot of stuff today that's important in amateur radio. Well, it's important to the world, not just amateur radio. We talk wireless. So what that means is we don't need a cell phone line. We don't need to plug into anything. We don't need to hear anything. We can generate our own energy. And matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, this studio here is solar powered, correct, or close to it, right? We're getting there. He's got my tower is solar powered, Joe. I'm just so you know, I want to be completely self-sufficient off the grid. Why would that be important? Because if the electricity goes out, I want to be able to operate and exist. And so, all I hear is feedback. Not quite. We're able to assist in emergency broadcast and emergency communication, which is really important. And that's all happened recently in the Caribbean. And I'm not. Do you know more about this than I do, probably, Aaron? I would imagine, right?
What's that?
You know more about this, the relief effort. I mean, the amateurs getting involved. I know that they had shut down 14.325, I think.
I don't know anything right
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that when there's
Yeah.
like Katrina and
Yeah,
that sort of
exactly.
thing.
And so there's times whenever, matter of fact, I know a gentleman. Matter of fact, the tower you're using right now in your house, your last tower you put up, the last one you acquired, that gentleman got an award here from the city council
Wow.
for being the net controller through the entirety of a hurricane that hit
Oh,
in
wow.
Guatemala or somewhere in Central America. And,
It's nice to know the history behind that tower.
yeah, and I think that's something we should probably we should just. And I told Miss Marino, I think it was K9LN, I think it is, or it could have been LR. I'll find out for sure.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm making a note of that right now, and get some stuff because there's a lot of paper. She's got a lot of stuff at her house that.
Oh, really? From the
Yeah,
ham?
from city of Las Vegas, and we could showcase that
wow.
as well. And I'll find out definitely for sure if it's LN, I think, or something of that nature. We'll find out from Miss Marino.
So, sort of on that note,
Yeah.
when we had, remember the Carpenter fire we had up there and the whole top of Mount Charleston
Yes,
burned?
yes,
It was
I
on
do.
the Pahrump side, and there were a lot of homes that were threatened. They were stopping us at the bottom of Kyle Canyon Road.
Okay.
That's Route 157.
Right.
And they were saying, do you live up there? And then if you lived up there, you could drive up. But what I did is I kind of pulled the truck off to the side, and I started getting to know the officers. That their station or barracks, whatever you call it, is up the hill.
Okay.
And the firefighters. They would all sit down there. And so I jumped in and I introduced myself. And I introduced the fact that I was a ham operator. And that if their system up there ever went down, I have backup radios that will cover the whole mountain area.
Wow. And you really do, yeah.
Yeah, and in an emergency, because I'm an FCC licensed person, I can assist them
Wow, nice.
with radio communications, as all of us hams
Sure.
can. Now, the nice thing about the FCC is that, well, there is a nice thing, is there's a group called Aries
Right.
Races, okay, and they're
Right.
the emergency radio.
Uh-huh.
If you're an Aries member and there's a national emergency, most hams that aren't Aries members cannot talk. They're supposed to not talk.
No, Aries can, races you can.
Okay, so Aries can, races you can. All right, thank you, Aaron. A note from our producer. But that's kind of, a lot of people will get involved in that. Of course, they just sign up and then they do some courses,
Right,
and then they
right.
never use the service until they activate when there's an emergency. So,
Exactly. They do practice nets as well, right? So
Yes.
they have nets set up where they practice the protocol.
Yeah.
I know there's a member in one of the local clubs here in town, the Las Vegas Radio Amateur Club. They have, when I was, there was a gentleman who would always stand up and announce when that was going to be happening and how to get involved in it, things of that nature.
Yeah, I had met Glenn, I just know his name is Kevin REO.
Okay.
He was kind of the district head of all that kind of
Okay.
emergency stuff, and he explained that all to me, and I thought, you know what? There's other advantages to that too, like if you have a vanity plate and you're an Aries member,
Yeah.
it's a really reduced price, or if not free. You can get your license, the vanity
Wow.
plate, free with your call sign on.
Are you
it.
serious?
So there's a couple of benefits. People might want to look into that.
I'm in.
Yeah, if they don't really want to talk standby,
Uh-huh.
which I think you probably know a lot of people that are like that. They
Yeah.
have the radio equipment.
Right, but don't know what to do with it.
Like one of our members, Daryl, but I won't say any names. He has this
I'll
nice
see it's called
equipment.
KJ7 UCT.
Yeah, but we won't mention any of that.
Right.
But I never heard him on the air, but I imagine that if an emergency came into play, he would be on the air a lot.
I guarantee he's going to call. He's going to call in. I guarantee you.
Yeah,
you gotta
Daryl,
know.
call in.
He's a good guy too, man.
He is.
He's he's transitioning over from CB radio, and we've got a lot of our members are transition CB amateur radio operators now, and you know this has really helped our hobby, if you will. You know, oh wait, this radio here. Folks, I've my helper is right here, and he's talking right now. Not sure what he's saying, but yeah. So you're right about that. There would be a lot of people in our community that probably don't even realize that they could be an asset to their community and service work for their community.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about service work on many different levels, spiritual all the way through just pure service work, and that it's a benefit to a person, a human being. You know?
Yeah.
And, so. So,
Victor Zulu from Florida, we can hear you loud and clear.
where's he located at?
Well, it's just down there.
It's good old DMR radio
I-
right there, folks.
Can I just key this thing and talk to
Yes,
him?
thanks for the feedback. I really appreciate it. I just doing some settings on my radio, my hotspot, so I thought it was
Might be a net or something.
kind of new to digital. There's a lot of stuff to get used to about this kind of radio.
Let's see who's on the phone.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, this is that the voice I hear? Who's that voice? You recognize that voice there?
I don't
Robert?
recognize it really.
You don't recognize the voice?
We knew it was you, Daryl, the whole time. Don't worry. How you doing, Daryl? That's
How you doing,
KJ7
Daryl?
UCT. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing just fine.
So you-
just listening to the pod.
So we put the gauntlet down. You called in, didn't you?
I
but
knew
I
it
heard
was
y'all say
like-
my name, so I said, what?
Well, at least we know somebody's watching, right? Hey,
Yes, I'm watching.
How you doing tonight, Daryl?
I'm doing just fine.
We sure appreciate you calling in, man. We need more participation like that. Actually, anybody else out there who's not scared can call in too. Just kidding. But so hi. So what's going on with you, man? Anything new? Anything different? What's going on?
Same old stuff, just trying to get up and running real good. Try to catch up with y'all.
Yeah. So that's good, man. I know that COVID has affected a lot of people. Even
Yeah.
it's affected people for quite a while, but even so, we've got an uptick on the COVID, so it's affecting people even more so now. So, well, we have our weekly meetings, and not everybody's. We've had a sparse showing last week or so, so we know that. So we missed you yesterday. So, or sorry, today. So, thank you for calling
Today,
in.
yeah.
So
I was rearranging my room, my radio room, and I looked up. It was 12:15.
yeah, well, you're a little late, so that's okay. Don't worry,
I
man.
was,
We
so
love you
I
anyway.
just said, okay, I'll get y'all next Wednesday then.
Right. No, Daryl is one of our founding members. He was one of the original members that we had in this club, and he was out there taking down that tower. Our first donation was a tower that's how we met Robert. Robert, I posted it to be sold, and the widow would get the money for the tower, and that's what we did. And so Robert is the one who purchased that tower, and that's how we got to know Robert. And we invited, because he's like the perfect guy for our club. He's a DXer. I'm a DXer. We're all DXers, and Daryl was along with that. He wasn't a member yet, but he was. He didn't hang up. Okay, but he was there, and he helped participate, and so we gave him a few antennas just for being a participant. We wanted to say thank you, and he's a newcomer, so we tried to hook him up with. So the antenna you're using right now, it was donated to you, right, Daryl?
Yes, the multi-band, yes.
Yeah. And we went over there and put some radios out for 20s on 20 meters with it, and we.
Oh, is that the 4B TV?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
How's that working, Daryl?
It's working. I mean, I can hear, but I haven't been able to be heard yet. I tried to,
Well, you got to talk when
the
we
other-
talk.
The other day when Andrew was talking to Japan, and I tried to get in there, but I just wasn't heard.
Well, you are using an amplifier, the SB220, right?
Well, I didn't have it on, but
So,
so it was just the radio.
so my personal opinion it's a multi-band vertical antenna, which is verticals are wonderful antennas, but when you start doing multi-band, it can affect the efficiency. So you've got that 20-meter radios out there, which will help efficiency out a lot more for that band. Consider running some power with that, and maybe you'd be better be heard. I mean, it just makes any sense and all, but maybe 400 or 500 watts maybe would make a huge difference. That'll be about. Beg pardon? Okay, yeah. So we'll talk about that later. But listen, thank you for calling. Okay, and we really appreciate you a lot. And
Welcome.
we'll talk to you. Something. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Okay. Thanks for coming on
Okay.
and supporting us. We
Yeah,
appreciate,
Daryl,
we
good to
appreciate
hear
you very
from you.
much. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, listen, folks.
And our phone lines are open.
They are. And Robert, what would that number be?
Well, let's see. I got 855-502-4321.
How easy could that be? 502-4321.
And then there we got a 702 number that's 32. The local number is 329-6947 for all you local ham radio guys.
Yeah. Just call in, ask a question, whatever. Be a participant. We need help tonight, of course. Well, we don't need a lot of help. We're doing pretty good, I think. But I noticed something, Robert. We both got matching shirts on. Did anybody notice that?
Thanks to a very talented ham radio
that's
gal.
right. These are our. So I get up here, yeah. These are our Las Vegas DX Foundation shirts. I like this. Okay, got it. These shirts were designed by and made and invented, if you will, design everything with my K7 STJ.
Yep.
Sharon, who's my XYL, and so our club members were getting these. Of course, they have to pay for them. I mean, they didn't cost us much, so we just charged them what it cost us to make, and so very inexpensive. And we'd like to. I don't want to get in a lot of trouble here, but if you're a member of our club and you request one, we'll get you one. I'll put you that way, okay? And we want you to have one. And club membership here with us is easy. It's you say you're a member, pretty much, and you join our Facebook group, and or our Facebook Messenger group.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're local here in Las Vegas, we have a local text group here as well. And so we'll put you in that group, and it's truly a lot of fun. All of our groups are fun. Our chat groups are a blast. What do you think, Robert? I think there's.
Well, I tell you what, my phone blows up all the time. It's hams talking to hams about things that hams understand, and I really enjoy it. I mean, we're talking to guys in New Zealand, or talking to guys in Australia about check out this guy that's in the Philippines, and it's just amazing some of the information. And I talked to Rob up there in Canada, the Voice of Canada, the other day.
Nice.
He was working Andrew. VK2TXB/7, who is on his way to Canada right now. So, Andrew, if you're out there and you're watching this, hope you're having a good drive.
Yeah, no doubt. Call us, Andrew.
I'm going to
Give us
call
an
you.
update.
I'm going to call you Leadfoot Andrew, because boy, he made it up to Reno in 7 hours. It took me 9 hours. So, He's doing well.
And he radioed the whole way, I guess, right?
And yes, yeah, and he was, his mobile unit is
Yeah.
very directional, so he's driving away from us right now. But when he
Oh.
lets me know that he's coming back, he'll be pointing his signal right at us.
That's amazing, yeah, because the RF kind of follows the ground,
Yeah,
right?
And we're on 20 meters
Yeah.
on 14253. That's kind of the base of operations for Andrew. And if you want to talk to him, come give him a call.
And to be honest with you, it's sort of our base of operation for this club. And in the evening time, there's a nice, wonderful set of Japanese friends of ours that they run their DX net there, but they're
Yeah.
friends of ours.
Yeah.
And it's JG1 OUT and JR2 FDX. I'm in a lot of trouble if I mispronounce that. But and then we got me, JN1 OUE, and her name is MEE. And the whole group Nagi, was it JA2PUU? I think it is, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you know, they're so we have it in the mornings, and they have it in the evening, and then slightly later on, around 14 to 46, we have Corey, which is VK4 Kilo Alpha. He's been on this show, and he does almost every evening. You'll find him, and a lot of us are on that frequency of 14.246. And maybe we'll get him to move to 14.253. But I don't know what, you know, that's listening from this part of the world
Yeah.
is different than listening on his part of the world.
Yeah.
He hears Europe long path and short path and United States. You can just imagine, and Asia as well. So
Yeah.
you can just imagine how busy 20 meters would be with and on his end. So it's wherever, I guess he's kind of claimed 246 as his. So that's fine. And and by the way, speaking of Rob up in Canada, and his call sign is Victor Alpha 7 VOC, or we call him Voice of Canada. And he's up in British Columbia. Real nice guy. He does a lot of interesting stuff. He's going to be on the show next week. I've got
Oh,
a
that's
tentative commitment from him. Victor Alpha 7, Victor Ocean Charlie, our Voice of Canada.
Rob Hatch?
Yeah, John Haggett's one of our members. He's got, matter of fact, he has one of our shirts. We comped him one for his birthday, and so he actually has one of these shirts. And he's a super nice guy.
And he's super strong station, too.
Yeah, he runs a stepper. He runs a 3-element stepper, and he's got now on 2 meters. Though the guys, have you seen his 2 meter antenna?
No, I have not seen it.
Good Lord, man! Is it on his Facebook page by chance? Yeah, I think it is. I know where it is. That video is on. He posted one on our Facebook Messenger, not too far back. The helicopter flying over his antenna, because they had.
You're thinking about it again.
I'll find it.
Okay, yeah, it's that wasn't it, but it's he had a helicopter doing. They had massive fires up in Canada. Everybody knows. I was assuming everybody knows about the fires in the Northwest, in the West. It happens every year, but up there he had one affected his general area, right?
Yeah, he told me that there's about 500 fires burning up there.
Amazing, yeah. I know it affected him greatly.
Yeah,
And,
they had to evacuate and some people, and now they're back, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And he had the helicopter. The shot that he had, the helicopter was gathering water from, accessing water from just right near his house.
Uh-huh.
And so he got a video of the chopper flying over his 2 meter and his stepper, 2 meter beam and his stepper. It was just a beautiful shot.
Wow.
I mean, it was a Hollywood shot. I mean,
Yeah.
it was. Hope you can find it, Aaron. Did you find it?
Not yet, but
I'll find it.
you guys keep doing the show.
Okay, no worries. And so he'll be on the show next week, and super guy. He's involved with the media scatter, if you will. He does EME, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, you mentioned that.
and he's going to help me, guide me with. I've got a stepper. I've got a nice antenna. I've got that big quad I built, and a lot of guys here in the club helped me put up. I need to do some maintenance of that quad. Anybody who's ever on the quad knows there's maintenance involved in quads. A big quad like the one I have is, there's a lot of parts and a lot of intricacies, if you will. And so I'm going to take it off the tower and tighten and not really retune it. It's tuned pretty well, but I've got my spreaders are kind of bowed out in a way that like a bow and arrow, bowed out like that. So I get longer boom length that way. And
Yeah.
but nevertheless, I got to tighten up my elements, and that's coming off. I'm putting the stepper up there. I've got a 4-element stepper that I got from a club member, and I'm going to recondition that thing and put it up in its place for a while and see how it works out. Anyway, what's your next project, Robert?
Well, right now, I just finished pouring the base for one of my towers. I had to take it down. It's a very heavy steel galvanized tower, and the only way it was being held up was by guy wires. And I was afraid that because I'm up where I am, up 4,000 feet up in the mountain, if I got hit by lightning, that tower would have, the wires could melt and snap and that tower would come down. So to fix that, I had my friend come out and dig the hole for it.
Okay.
It's 4 foot by 4 foot by 5 foot deep.
Okay.
So I had the cement people come out and put in cement underneath the mount that I made.
Okay.
And now I gotta have our crane guy, C&M Crane, he's gonna come out and put the tower on top of the mount. And then he's also gonna, remember how I built the antenna stacks on the ground?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing with Tower
Okay.
2.
Okay, gotcha.
So he's gonna pick up all 3 antennas, which is a Cushcraft antenna.
The 3-element?
Yeah,
Okay.
a 5-element 11-meter beam I made.
Oh, nice.
And a 7-element 6-meter I made for
So you
for
built,
DX.
designed and built these yourself as well? huh?
Yeah, and then I want to put like a 220 antenna on the top of that stack. So
Okay.
then he'll pick it up with the crane, put it
Sure.
in the top.
That video of that last installation was just amazing.
Well, I appreciate the help of you and Al, N6V&V,
Yeah.
and K5DA here. They came out, and without them, it wouldn't have happened as
Oh, there it is, right
smoothly.
there. There's your
Yeah,
foundation.
there's my base right there.
Right there, nice big tower
See,
there. huh?
see, I just put that finished coat on there. That's
Okay.
why it's still wet.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, and I'm happy to say it's perfectly level.
Oh, well, we'll find out about that.
Yeah, when the tower's leaning like this, you know.
I think it'll be pretty straight. It looks like it's pretty straight up.
Yeah.
And it's good to get a level on there. I don't know how you did your tower, but mine, I get a level on there, and just literally get a level on
That's
that thing.
I
and-
got one of those carpentered ones. It's just
Yeah,
long,
perfect,
so,
yeah. So you know
okay.
for sure, definitively. I actually installed towers back in Texas when I'm originally from, and I just spotted by eye, right? And the last tower I put up was 105 foot, by the way.
Wow.
I'm sorry, yeah, it was 105 foot, but it was the bottom section was leaning a little bit, right?
Oh,
And so I straightened everything with the guy wires. I mean, I had 3 sets of guys on it, and it was a little bit tilted, and I straightened it. I'm still tilted. Still had a little bit of a bow at the bottom
Oh,
of the thing.
boy,
And,
yeah.
it didn't. I wasn't worried about it. I knew it's Ron 25G. It's the excellent stuff. It was buried 5 feet in the ground. It was.
Yeah.
It wasn't going anywhere. But
yeah.
it's better if it's straight. You're gonna
Yeah.
climb them, right?
Yeah, I have a way of, I'll take a right angle, a piece of right angle metal that I know is accurate,
Got it.
and I'll drive out away from my house.
Okay.
Maybe about 1/8 of a mile.
Okay.
And I'll set that metal on the roof on a
On a
level.
yeah.
So I level out that, and if the tower matches that
Okay.
that angle, then I know it's
That's
straight.
pretty good. That's
Yeah.
a great way of doing that.
Yeah,
huh?
it's quick. It's kind of surveyor sort of thing.
Sort of
you
how they
know?
built the pyramids, probably, right?
Probably. Well, I think they stood a several thousand feet up.
Right.
But,
Good job, man.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. And so you just straighten it with the guy wires if it's a little bit off, right?
Yeah, just not much. I think Tower 6 that I just put up.
Yeah.
That one we got from that house you're
Yeah, yeah.
talking about. That one was leaning just a little bit
Okay.
towards the north, so I just pulled it. But
Yeah.
it's perfectly fine.
What I like about the way you do your installations is the same way I feel about installations as well. I have a U.S. tower, HDX 5.
Yeah,
5.
heavy duty.
Yeah, it is, but I still have guy wires on mine. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a failure in last year, and I know the tower was underrated than what it is, the one I have now, and I know the antenna was big. So, but what I did, I put 4 guy wires on it on my particular property. I can't afford to have. I don't want it to hit my house. I definitely don't want it to hit my neighbor's
Right,
house, but I don't want
yeah.
anybody to get hurt as well. So
Right.
I put guy wire. So all your towers are freestanding. That tower you're talking about was up for 40 years, right?
Yes.
That's a big. I guess it's a Ron tower as well, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Mine was up for a week.
Yeah.
Aaron's was up for a week, and then now
Yours
it's
was
been up since then.
We yeah,
Yours was up for how long?
it's been up for a lot of stuff, huh?
No,
Freestanding.
Before
Uh,
it died.
yours,
Yours.
the one that I had before was up for 2 years before it finally kicked the bucket. But I put a previously built 4-element, full size 4-element dual band, 20 and 17 meter. It was a lot heavier than the one antenna I have now, on that that tower. And it wasn't. I had it guy as well, but it broke because it was a very old tower, and I didn't realize it when it was given to me as something free. And my neighbor, who Sonic Key, God rest his soul, his widow gave it to me, and I said, "Well, I got a tower now," and so I put that thing up, and I didn't realize it had laid on its side for years, like 10 years, and
Oh boy.
the water had gotten into the tower,
Oh.
and it was paper thin where it broke.
Yeah.
The leg broke when the wind
Yeah.
blew that day. that paper thin metal just popped.
Yeah.
And it came over. So, but luckily the good thing about the tower was I had 4 guys on it, so when it fell, all the guy wires collectively pulled it into the base of the tower.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's almost like a.
Well, that's
it's
a good
amazing.
design, yeah.
Well, I got lucky anyway. So what I like about what you do is even though you have a very, very strong, proven piece of equipment and you saw the Christmas tree that was on that thing before, right?
Yeah.
That you were able to you still put guy wires on your
Yeah,
towers, right?
yeah. Well, up at 4,000 feet, I'm on the slope of coming off of Mount Charleston.
Yeah.
And so every day I either have winds going up the hill or coming down the hill. When it comes down the hill, it's nice because it's cooler.
Right.
When it comes up the hill, it's really hot.
Oh, really? Okay. Never thought
Yeah,
about that. Yeah.
because it's sucking the air out of the valley.
Wow.
But I've had hurricane strength winds up there, and the first year I lived up there, I had that Roan 25 up,
Uh-huh.
and those winds, it wasn't sustained 125, but it was sustained 75
Wow.
with 125 gusts.
God, that's crazy, man.
And that antenna was just doing this. It was like a palm tree that you see him blowing, curving over in the wind. And I said, you know what, it's not going to happen anymore.
Okay.
And that's when I started putting guy wires on all my freestanding
Never,
towers.
haven't had a problem since then, right?
Yeah.
Just the singing of the wires in the wind, right?
Oh, it sings too. There's a lot of songs going on.
That's see, I'm glad to know that. So even though those towers are rated for that much, you never know what a rogue wind wave will do to a piece of equipment.
They've got a caller.
Okay,
Hey,
we
we've
got
got a caller.
All right, we got a caller. Who do we have the pleasure of speaking to tonight?
It's Bad Grandpa.
Hey,
God.
Grandpa.
Bad Grandpa, you made it. How's the
I
prostate?
did.
How's the prostate? Just kidding.
It's still there.
Well, Grandpa, this is folks. If you haven't had the pleasure of meeting NO7 BS, that's right. That's his call sign, y'all. That's No 7 BS, and he's an incredible. He's a genius and electronic absolute genius, and he's been on our show a few times. But how you doing, Bad Grandpa? How's Bad Grandma?
She's fine. Thank you so much for asking. Listen, I gotta tell you, 10 meters open today, and I worked the PY3 in Brazil.
Wow.
Wow.
28.400.
Were you
Brazil, that's how many thousands of miles is
I
that?
don't know. Were you nice to him, Bad Grandpa? Were you nice?
It was pretty good. I
Did you,
think the band was open, but it was.
were you using your Craco radio, Bad Grandpa?
I was using the Craco Super Deluxe. Yes, sure it was.
Well, good. 4 watts output, right?
Yeah.
No. It's 28.4. It's running a kilowatt.
What? Those are dangerous.
That's
Those are pretty
Yes.
dangerous.
Yes.
So Bad Grandpa, we got to get over there and get you to get your tower, get your erection up in the air.
Hey,
Erector
Grandpa
set.
could use a good erection in the backyard. It's been a while. I don't know what the neighbors would say.
Yeah. I mean, we need to erect your tower. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry, folks out there.
The neighbors, what will neighbors say about that?
That's right, wise guy.
Oh, I don't want to piss this guy off. He lives locally. He'll hunt us down. But Bad Grandpa, we got to get back out there on a remote at Bad Grandpa's. He's got some changes going on out there, and
Oh yeah.
you talk about an antenna farm with not one single tower, but an antenna farm nevertheless. And
Yeah.
this man over here has Robert here has a tower farm, antenna farm, the classic kind, if you will. But 7BS has Bad Grandpa there has quite the antenna, the amazing antenna system you have at your house is just phenomenal. And he's got about 3 towers laying around. Needs to be installed. So we're waiting for the
yeah,
weather to
3
cool off.
towers. 3 towers.
So we need to get the first one up.
I'm running out of space. I've got 12 up now.
You all did that. You all yourself, correct, Grandpa? You did them all yourself, right?
What?
You put all those antennas up by yourself,
Yeah.
right?
That's right. Yep.
And he does it at night, folks, without a shirt on. So if you want to go see a real show,
Yeah, that's I'm trying to keep my friend Melanoma from visiting.
That was melanoma, right?
Melanoma.
That's him.
Yeah, I'm getting to know him too.
And the funny thing about Bad Grandpa is he's packing, he's carrying some heat. So he's had a couple of occasions where he's had to actually draw down on somebody out there. And this is the Wild Wild West, folks. This is Las Vegas, right? Don't think it's still the Wild Wild West. It definitely is. And so he's out there doing whatever he does at night in his backyard.
It's okay. I didn't hit him. I didn't shoot him.
Right. Yeah, I think in a former life you were like a detective, right, for LAPD, right?
Shh, quiet.
Breaking your anonymity. This is back in the 20s, folks, 1920s, 30s.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Back when he had an Etzel. Wasn't it an Etzel there, Bad Grandpa?
It's Packard.
Packers, right? Well, I tell you, Bad Grandpa.
Right.
Every club needs we need different kind of people. Like we got the tower guy right over here, Robert. I guess I'm the CW guy, the whatever. And we've got Bad Grandpa is the amp guy. So
Yeah, he's a heck of an
I mean,
electronics guy.
now of course Robert could work on an amp or anything too, and but you have to designate somebody. So Bad Grandpa he's the guy he works on equipment
Yeah.
and amplifiers. So you want to get your stuff to him. He's got an incredible laboratory, if you will. I think we've had him on the show before, and he's AKA Kurt and Bad Grandpa. He's got an incredible shop, and he's actively involved in doing radio repairs and amp repairs now. And so he's a good guy to have in your club, right? You got to have an amp guy.
Yes, I like working on fire bottles.
Fire bottles. What's a fire bottle?
That's right. That's right.
It's an amplifier. I never heard that before. You? That's good. And, so anything else you work today besides the Brazilian, the PY guy? By the way, I compliment you on that single sideband. It wasn't FT8, it was single sideband, right?
Yeah, it was a single sideband. His voice. The band opened up for about 5 minutes, and he was gone.
Wow.
And then I moved over to 20 meters and talked to our friend Andrew.
Oh, so where was Andrew when you talked to him, Kirk? Was he Portland?
Oregon.
Oregon, yeah.
That's because he should be probably
That's right.
with his kids now, I would imagine, right? Or close to it, right?
I would think. I wonder if he crossed the border.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's a big deal across the board. He's got an animal, too, huh?
Yeah.
He's got Brutus. Andrew's got Brutus with him right now.
Brutus the dog.
Okay, let's see what else. Any interesting projects you have going on there, Bad Grandpa?
No, no.
Well, you need some more, though. So, folks, it means he's free, okay? We can start loading you back up again with
Okay.
projects.
Got it.
Hey, well, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you coming on the show. And we might have you on every week if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, have a good night, Bad Grandpa. Thank you. Appreciate you very much.
All right.
See you, Kurt.
It's my bedtime. Almost 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for calling.
Hey, you too.
Bye.
Bye. There you go, man. That's it. He's like, picture Einstein, okay? With a little bit, maybe 10 more pounds, and you'll have Bad Grandpa, okay?
That's right. Yeah, he's a very, very intelligent
Yeah,
man.
yeah, sure is. And we haven't mentioned one person here, our DMR expert, who
Guru.
I mean, this guy. He happens to own the studio, and his name is Aaron, and it's N5VAE, and he's an amazing. There he is, right there. I see his face. So I'm looking across in the studio, and this guy's this guy's in par with Bad Grandpa. So is Robert. There's a lot of us that are, and this guy here, Andrew Aaron is amazing. He knows all the digital modes. He knows the modern ones, the old ones. He has the history of everything, and he set up this incredible. Is there any way we could just show your studio? Is there that possibility? No, the whole studio.
Not really.
Not everything. Okay. Well, we'll maybe on another broadcast we'll show the studio that he has designed and built here at his house. This is a professional. Listen, folks, he has a lot of very high priority celebrities that come here and do podcasts.
Right.
This isn't just a regular. This isn't something. This is a professional studio, and this place is very, very special to us. And he gives us this, and I think it's a big deal. We have the opportunity. We have a club member who has this kind of talent. and he's a ham radio operator, and he's part of our club and part of our clique. And there he is. Oh wait, that's not me. That's me. Okay, and I look like you. Anyway, that's a younger version of me, and he's he's just a sharp guy, and the depths of his intelligence really goes beyond anything you can imagine. I get surprised every day about the stuff that he knows. I mean, so can you just give us an overview about DMR as opposed to say CoLink and things of that nature?
Can't hear me. Yeah, it's not working. What do you want to know?
Do you explain to me about DMR, about like it's the newest technology, etc.
Do you have to register? Do you have to register to be on DMR?
Yes, DMR, or it's radioid.net.
RadioID.net.
Radio.
Can you register twice, or will they say you've already registered with us?
They don't know, but you can register multiple radios.
Oh, okay.
So it's radioid.net.
Yeah.
Okay, so and someone brings it home so I can do it myself. And you go on there and you get an ID, right? So everyone has an ID, right?
yeah, so you get a number, right?
Is it per radio? The radios have an ID, or is it you have?
You do
one?
one for all your radios or one for each radio.
Oh.
Okay, got it. So and then once you do that, you're able to get on DMR. And DMR is a digital. What does DMR stand for?
Mobile radio.
Digital mobile radio, and it's a newer technology, correct?
Yep.
Newer technology means it's not it is digital, but in a way that does it digitize the voice?
You can talk around the world.
Talk around the world. So it will use the internet, and so they have, I guess, nodes in different cities around the world. I guess I'm not really sure
How to
exactly.
do this.
Okay, great. Here he is, folks.
This will be easy.
Here he is, folks.
There is a producer,
You got
director, owner.
Talented man.
There we go.
Go,
Talented
go,
guy.
GoLiveVegas.com, folks. This man right here runs all that. You should go
Yeah,
check
he's got
out.
a lot of interesting programs other than this
I mean, this is nothing compared to some of the
I
stuff.
try.
Yeah, he does. And it's amazing some of his people that he has in his studio doing their job. This is their regular job here, so go ahead.
What do you want to know? What do you
I-
want to
I
know
wanna
about
know-
DMR?
I want to know what is it? How's it different opposed to say EchoLink?
Well, it's using digital,
Okay.
and with DMR, you get 2 time slots, which means you can have 2 totally separate conversations on the same repeater at once,
Okay.
which basically are utilizing.
But you got to switch from one time slot to the other, right?
Well, you can pick your time slot, so you can have time slot 1 or time slot
Oh,
2,
yeah.
and maybe time slot 1 is for local conversations, and
Okay.
time slot 2 you use for
Oh, really?
people that can connect around the world. It's a lot of fun,
Huh.
especially when the ham bands are dead like they are right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're a lot of fun. You just get on the DMR and talk around the world.
Yeah, I have a radio I want you to set up for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested as well. So our repeater is a DMR repeater, correct?
Actually, it's a multi-mode DMR, multi-mode digital repeater.
Explain that.
Yeah.
It means it can do DMR P25, which is Project 25.
Okay.
It's what the
Please.
police department, EMS, that kind
Okay.
of stuff uses. That's a lot of fun too. It sounds really good. Then there's Yaesu Fusion,
Okay.
so you can use that as well.
Wow.
D-Star, which is
Yeah.
Okay.
ICOM, and I think Kenwood
Yeah,
has
my ICOM has
a
that.
radio as well.
Yeah.
That's NXDN is the other one.
XDN. Okay.
NXDN.
NXDN.
Yeah.
So my
So
ICOM.
that's very narrow band. That's like 6.25
Now,
kilohertz.
does
Wow.
it sound narrow band? Like sometimes
what?
you hear really kind of.
The Kenwood one
Crunched.
sounds the best.
Oh, does it?
It does.
And what's that protocol?
NXDN.
NXDN. Okay.
I think out of all of them, that one sounds the best.
Hmm.
Well, Kenwood's famous for the audio anyway, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. And the other thing too about digital, and the reason I like it so much is because it can really clear up your audio. Some of them, some of the modes like P25, DMR, I think NXDN has it as well, and even Fusion. D-Star doesn't have it, but they have forward error correction, which means
Yeah.
that
Forward error correction.
which
Wow.
means it can adjust and fix your audio
Right.
if you're not sounding properly.
So it predicts your next word.
Yeah, it gets rid of that,
Somewhat, yeah, sort of.
that artifacting that you
Yep.
hear sometimes.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
great.
So, and we've done experiments with this where we've been talking on analog,
Okay.
and we can barely hear each other.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And we switched to digital, and clear as
Crystal
day.
clear, yeah.
Crystal clear.
The range is a lot longer in digital.
Absolutely.
And so there's going to be a day and a time when probably sideband, our HF would be digitized as well, I would imagine, right?
Well, they have
Voice.
done experiments,
Yeah.
but the problem with digital on HF is the lag time.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay,
it's-
got it.
that's a little different. That's a whole different ball game. But there are experiments.
I'm sure
with
they'll,
that
they'll,
as well.
they'll figure it out one day because,
Sure.
I mean, it was about communication and legibility and like FT8, for example, goes real deep into the noise level and you can communicate on a very, very weak signal.
Oh, really weak.
And so I think digital voice communications or whatever would solve that problem as well.
A few years ago, I think 2011, 2012, they came out with some device that you could buy for HF that added on to your microphone. So you put it between your microphone and your HF rig, and you can flip it and go digital.
Wow.
Oh.
So, but I think the problem with that
That'd be
one
cool.
was it was digital over analog. It wasn't a true digital
Yeah.
signal.
Got it,
So I
got it,
think that
got it.
was the issue they were having. But
Yeah.
That's the same with the FT8's digital over analog.
yeah, and I think
Yeah.
Alinco did that at once. Too,
Oh, is that right?
Back in the early 2000s.
Hmm.
So, but I love digital. It's just for me, it's a lot of fun where I can grab a little hotspot, throw it in my vehicle,
Right,
and
right. That's what-
connect it to my phone, and I can go anywhere and talk
Yeah.
to people around the world.
First time I met Aaron, when we were at when we first started our meetings, our luncheons, that is, he came in doing FT8 on his Apple tablet. He says, "Yeah, I'm running FT8 right now." I go, "On that thing?" He goes, "Yeah, he's running an active FT8 live." in
I was
front of me." I'm
remote
like,
controlling
wow.
my station from the
It
remote.
was
yeah.
beautiful, man.
So-
And, that's my first impression of him was this guy is pretty sharp.
I think one of you guys told me that FT8 was originally or used to talk to the Voyager, the space probes and stuff like
yeah,
that.
I think it was Joe Taylor, but Dr. Joe Taylor out of Princeton was the guy that I guess him and his team together collectively invented that protocol, and it's a deep signal. And it's made
Yeah.
to, I guess it was designed to solve problems with for example, weak signals coming from satellites that are traveling in areas that you really can't hear them very well.
Yeah.
You can imagine
Yeah.
a solar powered battery that has to regenerate and getting further away from us, so
Right.
further away from the sun, enough energy to communicate back to Earth. That's I mean, can you imagine? I mean, if you communicate, you want to catch every bit of it. There's not
Right.
going to be very much signal left there.
Right.
You know, we all know the math equations. You know, you got a signal right here, you got a station right here at antenna, and then the further it gets away, it spreads out, it gets thinner and thinner.
Longer and longer,
The electrons are just more spread out, and so
Mhm.
you get to very weak signals. So how do you solve that problem? How do you communicate with something
I
that's
think,
already?
I think
at
that's
the
called
edge of the-
Doppler effect.
Well, Doppler would be
As it
phenomenal.
goes away, the frequency gets lower and
Yeah,
lower.
that's Doppler, yeah, but I'm talking about energy. I mean,
okay.
the level of electrons that are able to be received by.
Oh,
any-
okay. Yeah, it gets weaker
Yeah.
and weaker as it goes
Yeah.
further and further.
Yeah. So how do you collect those very few electrons and form a piece of communication with it? I mean, you have to be
Wow.
able to decipher what it say. Maybe not communicate so much with it, but that as well. And but to see if you notice those 4K photographs they have come from these satellites nowadays from other planets. I mean, they're 4K. I mean,
Yeah, it's so
just the Mars, for
Amazing.
example, is I don't know what they're using for. I guess that's going to be it, folks. We're going to wrap it up. Hey, thank you very much.
all right.
Robert, thank you for coming today. I really appreciate you a lot. Thank you, Bad Grandpa, and
Daryl.
Daryl, yeah, for sure. We'll see you guys next week, okay? You have a great night. And it's K5DA.
N7R, so.
Las Vegas DX Foundation, another one of our podcasts. Welcome. Thanks a lot, man.